Hello, it's John from ShopKeepEasy. We're joined by Julie from Swan Art, who has actually sent us an inquiry online to find out a little bit more about how our shop platform works. And over the last few years, I've spent so many times having individual one-to-one conversations with people to explain how the platform works. But I thought now that we're getting more into these RT class videos, it would actually be a good opportunity to record it and put it online, and you can hear Julie's questions, you can see the demonstration of the platform, and then I don't have to repeat myself every week on having these phone conversations. So I thought it was a really smart way of doing it. So welcome, Julie.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Just tell me in a few sentences what the types of things that you're looking for within your sort of art. How much art do you produce? What sort of things are you wanting to create, just so that I can tailor this presentation a little bit more towards you.
Okay, so I have a website which is Julie Swan Art, and I produce original oils and pastels mostly, but I have been looking for merchandising. But a lot of the costs have been prohibitive, the ones I've looked at. I've been looking to change my website because my current one is geared towards artists, but it has no flexibility, so you can't add in other pages. And when I've looked at, because I want an e-commerce site so I can sell my art from my website, when I've looked at the e-commerce sites like Shopify or Squarespace, they do a lot of what I want, but not all of it. So when I saw your company, it kind of looked like it ticked quite a few of the boxes in terms of being able to have a link to a shop that is fully functioning and has merchandise as well.
Brilliant. Well put. Thank you very much. And
just to add, the reason I came across you initially was because of your online art classes, which is another thing I wanted to add to my portfolio because I run workshops, but I want to do online ones. And yours looks like a very much simpler way of doing it than some of the ways I've been looking at, and some of the websites don't host videos and things like that. So it looks like you've got a lot of what I'm looking for in one package.
Hopefully, let's see how we go. So the rationale behind how we built our platform really is quite simple. It's everything that your supporters, parents, because we work with schools, clubs, we work with lots of different types of community organizations, and we wanted to build a platform where everything that their parents, if it's a school, supporters, if it's a charity, donators, students, members, depending on what the word is for your audience, whatever they need to pay for with you, they can do in one place, rather than go over here to buy a ticket, go over here to get your uniform, go over here to buy your art merchandise, whatever. So everything's all in one place. So the best way for me to explain it is for me to share my screen. And what I thought, seeing as I'm all dollied up today for, we've got this artist called Tim Fisher this afternoon, and I thought, why not go behind the scenes in Tim's shop? So this is Tim's shop that has been created to host his workshops. And so let me just go through, this obviously says at the top, shop admin. So only Tim, in this case, has access to this. And this is where he can manage the items that are put on his shop. If you go into account at the top, that basically details all the kind of details. I won't scroll down because obviously certain things might be private, but that's obviously his account. You can manage who can log in and manage your shop. So you can do that there. You can control shop settings and all the various boring bits, really. This top menu here is almost like a chronological process. So you add an item to your shop, you can manage it. If you want to hold any stock of certain items, and I'll come into that because a lot of the items we do are made on demand and sent directly to your customer, so you don't have to do anything. You can have a look at your order history. You can design your shop, and that's the shop that people can see. You can market it, and then obviously if you press that button on the right, you visit your shop. So that's your customer shop. So if we go into the add shop item, first of all, there's 6 different types of item that you can add. And we think we've covered pretty much anything that you'd want to do in those 6 boxes. So I'll come on to the catalog items last, probably, because that's probably the main area. That's the area where we've got lots and lots of different suppliers of different things, and you can personalize those items, upload your designs or artwork, your embroidery, whatever. We do most of them on demand, but I'll come on to that later. Then there's your own items. So this might actually be your I don't know, your original art in your case, Julie. So if I click onto that, every page has a bit like a wizard that you get used to. And it's a very simple wizard. As you can see, it's just a very short page. So you might want to sell a piece of artwork. So I don't know, 2 swans, seeing as swan art, 2 swans. I
actually have 2 swans on my website.
Oh, there you go. There you go. It's fate. So beautiful picture. You get the gist in the description. You then upload an image of your picture. But let's. I'll just pick this picture of some irises. It's probably actually a very big picture. That's probably why it's loading up so much. I should have picked a slightly less. And it just puts it in. So it gives you a preview of what it would look like on your shop. You can then select if you want to sell variances of it, you can select. So you might have a small one or a big one. If it's your original art, it'll only really be one thing. So you might say that the size is, one size, or you might want to put what the size is, 50 centimeters by whatever. And so that comes up in the selection. It's like a drop down. But if you wanted to add multiple options, so let's say you had different types. So you had, let's say there were Christmas cards and you did them in packs, for example. You could do, a 5-pack, a 10-pack. You get the gist. And then you can select what shop price you want to collect for it. So maybe for the 5-pack it's £5, maybe for the 10-pack is £8. And the other thing that you can also do is you can control what stock you've got of those. So actually the 5-packs, you've only got 4 of those, and the 10-packs, you've got 2 of those. And what will happen on your system then, it actually adds this item when you press save into your stock tab, which we'll come to in a minute, and it puts that you've only got 4 of those and 2 of those. You can control them. You can control the stock in your stock panel. But the great thing about that is that once you've sold everything you've got, people can't pay for it anymore. So you're not collecting money and then having to faff around with refunds or anything because you've run out of stock. So it controls your stock. The next thing is you're selecting which shop page to put it on. Now, this is on your shop, which we'll come to later. You can have different shop pages. So for Tim, we've got a main shop, which actually there isn't anything on there at the moment, but we've also created another shop called Masterclasses and Videos, which is where he's selling his workshops that he's doing. But we could maybe select another, we could create another shop page called, I don't know, if it was a school, it might be staff items or preschool items or whatever you want. It could be a particular, so however you want to design your shop. So we'll put this on the main shop. Then delivery options. So do you want the item to be collected from you? So that could be if you were doing a workshop coming up or something like that, you might want to say, you can collect it from me at the workshop and I'll hand it over to you. For community groups, that's really handy because people are coming to them all the time, or for schools, and they can collect it from them. Or do you want it sent via post? And it gives you a screenshot of what it would look like at the checkout it would include the delivery costs, and you can control how long it would take you to dispatch it. So you can say, within 5 days, for example. I've spelt it incorrectly, but anyway, and it pops it up in the preview to show you what it would look like on the checkout for the customer. You can feature it on your shop homepage, because there's a homepage and then you've got the individual shop pages that can have other items. So you can tick that or not. And then you press launch. And once you launch it, it literally adds it to your shop straight away. I'll press launch, seeing as I've done it. It's there in manage items. You can see it. You can go into it and change the name if you want, again, or you can change the description, and you can even edit the price as well. So you can say, oh, actually, I want £6 for that, or whatever. And then if you go to the visit shop page and you go to the main shop, in fact, you can see the main shop there because that's where we added it. There's your item, and people can add it to their cart, or I'm going to order a 10-pack, add it to my cart. It's really super easy. And then you're notified in the order tab back in the admin section. What I'll do now is I'll remove that, because I'm sure Tim doesn't want to be sending 2 swans with an iris on it. It sounds a little bit contradictory. So we'll delete that. It's really simple. Right. So let's just go back to here. So that's your own item. So there's loads of flexibility in selling your own things. And if you held your own stock of, I don't know, pens, or you had your own paintbrushes or something, you could sell those from that. Secondhand items we'll come on to a bit later, because we've made that really easy, but you need to have things on your shop. So I'll do that in a minute. Tickets and subscriptions. So this is what we've used for the workshops. And so when you go into that, let's say it's a workshop event, and I'm not doing very well at typing today. You can select different types of payment methods. So it could be, so this might be for a school, for example, where they're just doing an assembly for something and they just want to see who's going to turn up. So it's a free thing. You're not actually charging them anything, but you're collecting their email address, and you get a downloadable CSV with who's coming to that assembly. A one-off payment. So again, that could be something. Now, if you're a registered charity, which you're not, but I would imagine you're not, or if you're doing something for a charity, you can say that that item is applicable for gift aid as well. And we do a gift aid consent after checkout that you can collect, and then you can hand into HMRC and collect 25% more for that particular charity, but it's probably not relevant to you. You can also do weekly recurring or monthly recurring. Now, what that means is that if you are doing a membership of something, so that's really good for clubs. So let's say, join our club, and you can, I don't know, football club, and it costs £15 a month. It's a monthly recurring. They sign up for that membership and they pay £15 a month. So you've got it looks really simple, but actually it's really quite a sophisticated tool. So we do a one-off payment, and then you add your description, come and join me for a great workshop, upload an image of the workshop, select what options you want to do, and we give some examples. So a standard entry ticket, adult or child tickets, 3 options, 4 options. So let's say we were doing, I won't do that because I'll have to fill them out, but that one, and we'd say a standard ticket, and then maybe entry plus food. And is it unlimited or is it limited? Now, if it's limited, because maybe the hall will only take a maximum number of 200 people or whatever, so you might want to restrict it. But let's say unlimited for now. I want to put it on the main shop. The standard one is £5 and food £10. And you can also do a consent text. So tick box if you are vegetarian, and then feature it on the homepage. Press launch, does exactly the same thing as I just showed you before. So again, that you can download that on a CSV, and it's a really useful feature to identify, depending on what you're selling, depending on who's coming.
This is only available on the higher bracket.
It is. There's some different structures on so if I go to ShopKeepEasy, because that's the platform that this is on, ShopKeepArty is part of that, and we go to the pricing tab. There's 4 different pricing tiers. This one's only, our free one really is only for students that are doing enterprise projects at school. So for example, Young Enterprise or things like that. And some students have won awards with it, where they've raised loads of money for their assigned charity. It's just really great business experience, because as you can see that what we're doing, we're thinking about marketing, we're thinking about product research and what we can sell, and then you're doing the pricing to work out what profit to make. And so it's a really good educational tool. So we do that free as an educational tool. Our standard tier is £9 a month, as you say, and that does allow you to do tickets and collect donations. There's some it does unlock most things, but there are some restrictions on things. Whereas the premium one, which is £30 a month, it's unlimited on everything, pretty much. The ultimate one is you can create multiple shops. It's quite a significant upgrade, but for much bigger establishments. So we might have an adult community college or something that wants to create different shops for their learners to help engage with their local community, and they use that sort of tier. But let's jump back to here. So I'll skim through some of these because they're not so relevant, but the collect donations, so it's very similar to the tickets in a way, because you can do a one-off, weekly, monthly. You can do no reward, or you can actually create rewards. And we've got some examples where we've done engraved bricks, for example, and we give the example on here, which I'll open. So this was a school where they did engraved bricks on their shop, and with the gift aid after checkout, and we raised £25,000 for them in about 4 months, but that didn't include the gift aid. So I think it was about 30,000 that they raised in total. And then we supplied the pavers. Our supplier delivered to them, and then their building contractors that were building the pitch laid it on the pathway going down to the pitch, so that all the kids going in could try. And unfortunately, what we hadn't thought of that was the bottleneck when people are trying to get into the pitch, because there's all the kids looking for their name, going, where am I, Dad? Where am I? So it was quite funny. Right, so let's just close that. So there's some different. We can do a nice bronze tree with engraved. I mean, there's lots of different things there. But anyway. It's not necessarily relevant for you, but you can select how much you want to collect as a donation, and it gives you a great option. Local business items is another thing which I'm really passionate about. We haven't really had so many people take this up, to be honest, because it's quite hard to get your head around it. But with local organisations, for example, schools, clubs, things like that, the logic is that you have parents or members that work in local businesses, and they probably want to support you as an organisation or as a group. So why not allow them to sell their products and services on your shop at a discount? It creates more of a drive to your website and has that sort of local engagement. So through this, you can actually set up a local business product or service, and they get emailed when their item is bought. So you don't have to do anything. You collect the money, and then they invoice you once a month. So it's kind of you're adding their item. It's a bit, you have to negotiate with them on what the price is. It's a bit more of a thing for you to sort out. Probably not relevant for an art thing like yourself, but for a larger organization, it's quite a good thing, because you can start to embrace the community a bit more and get, especially at this time, I think helping and supporting local businesses, it's a really good little tool. So let's go on to the real sort of meat and potato bit, the catalog items. So there's lots of different categories of items here. So our schools might use the uniform bit quite a lot. And if you click into this, there's lots and lots of different uniforms. So for example, sweatshirts and jumpers. Got loads of different sweatshirts. We've got eco range things. So that all the polyester is made from recycled plastic bottles, and this particular range has helped over 20 million 2-litre plastic bottles from going into landfill, which is an amazing story. Then let's go. So that's uniform. So then we've also got a deal with all the scouts and guides as well. So if you actually work for or volunteer for the guides, you can actually add official guide stuff onto your shop, and the scouts as well. We've got...
Can we look at the gifts?
Yes, I'll go to the gifts. So the gifts, and we're adding to this all the time because the art thing, to be honest, hasn't been the mainstay of our business up to this point. But it is starting to really take hold, like this conversation. So if you go onto here, there's lots and lots of different types of gifts that you can add and you can personalize with your designs. And some of them are quite modern. So we've got the traditional canvases and things. So you can rectangular, square, circular, and they come in different sizes. Then you've got things like Apple Watch straps, personalized Bluetooth speaker. What's another modern thing? Personalized induction charger. So that's, in fact, I've got one of those on my desk. I was trying to show you. So it's got a picture of my kids looking at a lake when we went on a holiday abroad. Oh. So it's like a photo frame, but you can then rest your phone up on it and it charges it while on your desk. It's absolutely brilliant idea. So I was quick to order one of those. Then we got a lunchbox. Now this, I think, you might think, oh, that's for schools, but actually we've had an artist, Jane Bettridge, who's ordered one of those, because when you look at the inside of it, she thinks that some of that might be able to be a mixing palette.
Yeah.
And you can put your design on that wooden lid. So whatever your art is, and then use this plastic tray and this tray as your art palette and put those in a drawer somewhere. But then, so it becomes an art container, which I think is a fantastic idea. So let's go back to the gifts itself. So how you do it is really, really simple. So you literally just click on the item. You select what shop you want to do, so it's the same sort of language. When we say select color for these, we've done it so that you can add our rules. I'm getting a bit technical here, but seeing as it's being recorded, you can jump back and see it. I told you I was going to bombard you with loads of stuff, so I'm
keeping up so far.
Oh, well done. So it was more to do with the clothing, actually. So we built a rule that said what we didn't want to do is if somebody was adding this hat, for example, onto a shop page for their school or club, and then they put on an embroidered logo or something, we didn't want the parents to order the wrong, if it was on a certain page, to order the wrong logo on the item. So we made a rule that when you put a design or an item on an item, you can only do that to that color once per shop page, if you see what I mean. So per color. So if I was to add this hat with a design as a red one onto a shop page, I couldn't then add another red one with a different logo onto that same shop page.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yes.
It just avoids people ordering the wrong things. However, that falls down a little bit with gifts, I think, because you might want to add you might want to have a shop page, but you might want to have different art featured on the same shop page. So what we've done with that is in order to get around, we've added different, what we've called colors, but it just means that you can add up to 5 or 6 different designs on the same shop page.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense. So, and then how you do it, you kind of add, you select the color or the design thing, and then you can just upload a design. This is a feature when you've got different designs that you've uploaded, you click that and it comes up with the different designs. In this case, because Tim hasn't got any designs on his shop at the moment, it's just got his face. And what you can do is you can separate the spacing out on the face. Can you see that? It sort of spaces it out a bit more.
Yeah.
And you can download that as a wallpaper. Let me just download it now. And then when you come to design the item, so here's the canvas. And you can now press from file. And this is where you can select your artwork. Yeah. Or, as I've just downloaded a moment ago, I'd select my wallpaper, wherever it is. I need to find out where it is. Oh, there it is. There we go. And there we go. And I've got Tim's mugshot on the canvas. So he could have a canvas. If Tim's watching this, you could have a canvas, Tim, on your toilet wall with your face looking at me. Very disturbing. Anyway, but so that's how easy it is to upload an image. Let me actually do a proper image because that would look a bit better. So let's say there's this mug, and actually I don't want it that way round. I want it the other way. So I can just spin it round, and I can to the right.
Can you flip it?
I can flip it around the other way if I want to. Yeah, like that. And then I can readjust the location or whatever. I can also add text if I want as well. So if this was my piece of art, I could type my name and I could drag it down. I can choose a different font. I don't know, something that looks like I've drawn it. I can scale it, and I can also change the color of it. So I'll do it in white. There we go. And then I press finish. And that is now my artwork for that thing. And if I press save, that's now added that onto the shop. I can now rename it. So I'll call it the mug canvas. And I can edit the image. And so this is where I click on the image that I've just uploaded. I'm trying to find the rotation thing. It should be somewhere. Oh, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. It's at the top. So this is just this sort of the image that would show on the main page, basically. Okay, and then you edit the price. So now on this price pop-up, the price that you see here is our fulfillment price. So this is how much it costs us to make it, to order and ship it. And then you can choose what to price it at on your shop. This is why for students this is really good, because sometimes they get really carried away and go, oh miss, let's put it for £1,000 for every bit. We'll make loads. And we say, well, I don't think you'll sell that many. But anyway, let's put it at £1,000. So that's how easy it is. And if we go to the shop and we go on to main shop, there's the item that we've just created very simply. You can obviously change the description if you wanted to or whatever. You can choose what size you want to have on that particular canvas and add it to cart. And when that order comes through, we manufacture it to order, ship it, and prior to lockdown, it's within 72 hours. So it's very quick. However, it's a little bit delayed at the moment because there's more limited employees working on it. But anyway, you get the idea. Yeah. So again, I'll just go on to there because I'm sure Tim doesn't want a mug on his shop. Right, so hopefully that explains, but you can get some really interesting products there because there's things like Apple Watch strap is a really cool one. And actually, I think it's quite a good price compared to what you can buy Apple Watch straps from Apple for. And you literally upload an image onto the strap. I don't know, let's do this one. It doesn't really look at, I think you'd have to almost do a specific piece of art because it's such a rectangular, thin area.
Well, you almost like that.
It is I mean, it does look pretty good, doesn't it? So but you can have that on your wrist. What a great advertisement. And you can change different these are all different fittings. You can have gold fittings as well. There you go. So you've got the gold fittings and you've got rose gold, you've got silver, and you've got this is a nylon strap, and this is vegan leather. So basically there's different types of things that you can select. And then you've got, what else have you got? A metal wall art, which is quite interesting. It has a different sheen on it. The Bluetooth speaker is quite an interesting one because you can kind of prop that up on your desk. But it's basically the, as you can see there, and you just link it via Bluetooth to your smartphone, but the cover has your print on it. So it's a really nice thing you could take it to a workshop or something. It's quite a nice thing. Then what else? Clipboard. Again, you could call it the artboard or the sketchboard rather than so you could think a bit differently, and you can just literally put your artwork on the back. So you could have your own branded, whatever it is. The other thing that you could do as well, if you're getting into serious workshops, if you go into other clothing, there's things like aprons and overalls, for example.
Yes, I saw those.
So you could literally get a contrast color apron. I don't know, what's a good one with pink, there we go, and you could kind of make a design on the apron that you could hand out at your workshop or something. It could be quite cool, and everybody could be wearing it. So that's pretty snazzy. The other thing that you can do with that is, I mean, let me show you. I'll show you a shop that just trying to think of what SACC.shop. So this is a community college. I may have shown you this the other day. Yeah. So they've added various different items onto their shop. This is their shop page, and they took their normal logo and they put a rainbow over the top because of the NHS thing. It was quite good, and they called it Here For You, and they've been doing lots of food bank things for their local community as well. So they've basically added their embroidered logo onto different items, and when you go into their when you're adding a piece of clothing, you can actually choose whether to give people the ability to print or personalize the item further. They've decided to allow you to print your initials on the right chest, but you can also do your name on the upper back, for example, or if it's a sports item, you might want a big number on the back as well. But you can do that. We have size guides as well on the items so that people can just see that there. So so that's quite, aprons and different. So we also go down to 6 months. We've got what have I got? Where is it? Preschool clothing. So you can either go down to really small. So one of my favorites is the baseball t-shirt, because you can do a baseball t-shirt for down to 6 months up to adult. So we've got adult baseball t-shirts. So you can really sort of we've got where is it? There we go. So you could literally offer a full range with your design or logo on, and we've got lots of different colors. You can really there's lots of different things that you can add. So that's really that page, and you can have a play around with it. It's pretty intuitive, and as you've probably seen, there's lots and lots of different little info things and help text if you get stuck. What you'll also notice as well, I'm just going to do this again. When I click on here, if you just watch this space up here above shop admin, and can you see that little video pops up? Yeah. On different pages, there are help videos that then talk about what I've just talked about. Yeah. And one of the main areas actually is the orders page, because there's lots of different settings there. And so we've got a whole orders thing which goes on for about 7 minutes. It's a bit of a marathon, but it's quite a good one if you want a bit more of a lowdown on how things work. It's worth watching. So we've covered this. Item designs. So this is where you can add embroidered or printed designs, and we go through a bit of a sampling process with you because we don't want to get that wrong. It's fine if you're just ordering one for yourself like a lot of shops do out there. But if you're trying to create, I don't know, an apron with your logo on, you want to make sure that the logo is correct before people start ordering it. So this is where you basically say, right, I want to create an embroidered design. I'm going to upload the design that I want embroidered. Do I have any other instructions? Yeah, could you make it, I don't know, although the design is black, can you make it white, you know, or whatever it is. And then you can label it. So you might call it your main logo. Then you go to the next page. You can select a specific size in millimeters. So, you know, how big do you actually want that embroidered logo? Or if it's a new logo, where is it going? Is it going left, right chest? Is it going full front? Just give us an idea of size so that then we'll do that. So that's the maximum size. And we can make a swatch so that you can actually, it'll be a photo of a stitched out sample so that you can then approve it, but you don't have to do that. That's an extra £5. We do charge for digitizing these because it does take, and we've got a design guide which explains all the processes of that, because we have to get it digitized. So it's £24 to have a digitized file, or transfer printing. We have to create a vectored file for that, and that's £15. They're just a one-off charge. But once you've got it done, you can then add that logo to anything you want. And they're all, you'll find them all in here. Shop pages, that's where you can just see what we talked about before. Stock, so that's where you can add the items to your stock levels. So if we go back into this store, I'm just trying to think. I don't want to go into the admin section just because this is being videoed. So, but anyway, you could edit the stock on here by clicking edit, and you can adjust it up and down. Then orders. This is where you can see order history of all the customers that have ordered your things, and you can download a full CSV of everything. So that's especially good for tickets, because you can then, and everyone knows how to use a CSV, and you can filter by you know, the ticket name or whatever event it was, and you can just say, right, these are the 50 people that have paid for that thing, so that you can, if they're coming in, you can say, yes, you're the one that's with food, you're blah 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 blah. And we have a facility here where, and it's more built for big events or for schools, but it's where we're continually trying to find ways of reducing carbon footprint of things and to help the environment. So we thought, it was two things really. How can we reduce the home delivery charge for your customers, but also how can we reduce the carbon footprint? So what we came up with was collection requests. So when your customer goes to checkout, you can present them with an option where either they have home delivery and there is a charge for that, or they can collect from you. Now, you might not want lots of people collecting from you, but if you are having a workshop or something coming up and you were asking people to order their apron, for example, or something in advance, they could pick it up from you at that event. Yeah. And it then means that you can collect the collection requests here. What also comes in here are the items that you're processing, your own items. So if you're selling your original artwork, they will come in here, and there's different color codings depending on, this is why we've got this video, and it kind of details it all, but it kind of shows you
options select, isn't it?
Just trying to see. So
have an item in stock. Can control when collection.
Anyway, it goes through it all, but it has different color codings depending on whether it's an item you have in stock, whether it's an item you need, like with the aprons, the item you need to order from us, and you can group them all into one order, but we pack it per individual customer, so that when it arrives, you know that this one at this size is for Joe Bloggs, this one's for Sam Smith, whatever. So it's quite nice. You can deactivate this, and if you go to account funds, if you go to account and then shop settings, you can enable or disable collect from group, enable for home delivery. So there's different different settings, enable guest checkout, lots of different things there. So you can kind of disable that. You can also order your own items. So if you were to add, there's nothing on here at the moment that we ship, but if you were to add a, I don't know, a simple, we've got an agreements with various sports brands as well. So, you know, Under Armour items and things like that is quite good. But let's say a swimming cap. If Tim sees this, this will be funny. So an art shop with a swimming cap. I can't think of anything quite. Why is that not? Something not going wrong right there. Don't know what's happened now. I think I've been whizzing around a bit too much. But anyway, when you go onto orders, you can oh, there we go. I've added them. So those swimming caps have come up there, and you can now order. Actually, I want 3 of those, blah, 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 add to basket. And you can then go to checkout and you can order on invoice as you're the business, basically. Yeah. You've got the business account rather than, oh, it's funny. Next to the acrylic workshop thing, we've got a red swimming cap. So there we go. Right. So finally, we're almost there. Shop design. So this is the on your shop. I'll just go there. So at the top that your customers see, and this looks different if they're on a mobile phone, but it's mobile phone friendly. It's fine. So those are the shop pages that you've created. And if you go to masterclass and videos, there you go. That's on there. And obviously main shop doesn't have anything at the moment, but obviously if we added something, it would. This is your help and information page. And this is a page that you control what is on this page, and you can put whatever text you want or whatever, and you can control that from here under shop design, shop help, and you've got different, you know, bold, underlined, add an image, add a video, whatever you want to do. And you can basically add that on this page and then save. So, and that'll be reflected. So that's quite a good place for a school. They'd probably put their uniform policy on there. For you, you might just put, you know, a bit about you, and yeah, but it's a really nice, easy to edit page. The next thing is shop banners. So this is where you can add a banner on the page that you're on. So if I go to Jane Betteridge, so this is Jane Betteridge's shop here, and she's got that's her banner on her first page. But if you go to one of her, so you see how she's named some of her other shops, so they're actually to do with paintings she's done. So if I go to Winter Remnants, and she's put a banner on the top of that page which reflects the painting that is Winter Remnants, and so you can now go in and you can order that canvas or this phone charger. So so that's the way that that works. And you just literally press add banner. It tells you what the ideal dimensions are, and you upload it, and you can also resize it for mobile as well. Design settings, there's a few other options. They sort of unlock depending on what level you're doing. And then marketing, it's a poster. It's not really anything to too great. It's a bit more schoolified. I don't know whether Tim would really want to put that poster up because it looks a little bit more for a school. But it's
you could have an ebook, couldn't you? Sort of
you what? Sorry,
an ebook or something like hints and tips.
Yeah. It's. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do that. So. Yeah, it's okay. It could do with a little bit more work. That, to be honest, we've been focused on those other things. This is a button you can download, a button image, and we basically say if you put that. So if you've got a main website for your gallery or whatever, you can put this button on there and link it to that. But to be honest, a bit like that, this college, if you go to their main website, they haven't put a button on it. They've just put SAC shop at the top, and they've linked that to their shop. So
preference.
it's just a way. I mean, you can use it if you want. It doesn't really matter. Also, you'll find on the shop itself, there are social sharing buttons that your supporters or whatever can use. So if they want to share the shop on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, they can do that by pressing a button on the side. So that's quite nice and easy, helps spread the word. Then the last thing is funds. So this is where you see how much money you've collected over time. And on this, you can't really see very much, but basically it is a bit like a bank statement, and you can see all the ins and outs. And if I can give you an example, so let's say that for this apron, maybe our price for processing it and embroidering it was £10, and you decided to charge £20 for it. What would happen is that £20 would come into your fund account, and we would automatically take out the £10 to process it, and you'd be left with the £10 on
the profit sheet.
Yeah.
Marvelous.
Yeah. So it kind of detailed, and actually on your order history, it's got a full detailed thing of that on this CSV as well. It shows you how much you've made and how much was collected, etc. And a lot of clubs like that, because then when they're having their AGMs or whatever, they can just add it all up and kind of go, right, this is how much we've raised this over this last 6 months, or obviously an AGM this year. Any other questions?
Wow, it's very comprehensive. It's brilliant. So one of the things, is the shop searchable? So if somebody wants, so let's say for instance, I have oil paintings and I have pastel paintings. Could somebody search on pastels?
That is a good question. No, is the answer right now. We have developed, just to let you know, we have developed this platform from scratch. We don't.
It's amazing. It's really amazing.
We don't rely on any third party. There's only one third party thing on this page, which is the live chat feature here, which we use a partner for. Everything else is bespoke, and so therefore, if we had lots of people going, oh, a search feature on the shop would be really great, then and we had that's a sufficient demand for it, we'd work on it and develop it. It probably is in our roadmap at some point, but there's so many things that we're always working on. What we found at the moment is that it's even with this this shop, I think they've got 180 something different products on this college shop. And what we say is the homepage can only have 8 items. We keep that really, so it's whatever is the most important items you want to feature on the homepage. Then if you want to go to the different shop pages, we give the buttons down the bottom here, and we show how many items there are on those pages. So here there's 93 items on here. And if I go through to this, or you can click the shop pages at the top. So we do it in both sections. We do it at the top, but also at the bottom. And then if you scroll down, although I said 93, actually it doesn't look like that many, does it? And the reason is that if you can see for this apron, there's lots and lots of different colors, but we only show one color.
Yeah, brilliant.
So when you click on it, we then show the color drop down. You can select which one you want, hot pink. It then changes to hot pink. And you now, oh, actually, I want to print my initials on it and add it to cart. And there you go. And then you go through the normal checkout. And if you want to gift it to somebody, you can do that and you get a gift certificate. There's lots of different little features like that. But we've kept it quite streamlined, and we haven't had much call for, if you wanted to split it, oil paintings, blah, blah, I would suggest then you call your shop page oil paintings, watercolor paintings. So you can do it like that, so that it's much, and you've got the help and information page where you could explain that. On some things, let me think. So I'll go back to Jane's again.
So where Jane has got each painting as an individual painting, and then all the merchandise, you could have a page that said pastel paintings, then have the individual paintings plus merchandise in there.
Yeah, so what she's done on the help and information page is actually quite detailed, and what she's done on her banner on the first page is said click for info, and when you click that banner it goes to the help and information page. So you could just click help and information, but we felt that actually it would be very much more, it's a call to action. Now when you go onto this page you can then see the different paintings.
Perfect. Yeah,
you can click on a painting and it will take you to that shop page
and give you all the options.
So it's however you want to design your shop page, but it's pretty you know, we feel we've covered most of the things. We don't do is things like starter kits where you can group products together, or discounts or things like that. But actually we sort of do. There's ways that you can hack it. Okay. So, and when I say hack it, I don't mean in a coding thing, but you can, there are workarounds. So if I go to just going to try and remember what this is called here, you'll see here that they've got a limited offer beanie hat and scarf set now, and they've also got a club starter pack. Now we don't, on some more sophisticated complicated systems, they'd probably say, right, how do you want to group this t-shirt with this hoodie with this bag, and they'd have a massive spreadsheet thing that you could kind of, and we just felt it's far too complicated for people like yourself to manage that sort of thing. It's really, really confusing. So what they've done actually is they've created this as their own item. Yeah. And what they've done is so remember when we created an own item, and they've basically created these sizes as their options. And then what happens is when somebody orders this starter pack, they collect that money in for their own item, but then they've set up a shop page, which they've hidden, which has these 3 items on it, and then they can order it themselves as a club for that customer. Do you see what I mean? So they've kind of found a workaround to enable them to do the starter pack. Similarly with this, it's a similar thing. They've launched it as their own item, but they've got the 2 items that they can then just order from us themselves. So it's just they've got lots of great things here where they've done like used football boots. So they've done, you know, they've collected photos of their players and done that. What's another thing? Training wear, coach, cubs. I think there is something somewhere, I think they've hidden it, where it's for coaches to order their cones and their footballs. It's free. It just gives them an idea of how many footballs this coach needs and how many somebody else needs. Yeah. So there's quite a few. There's another one as well. If I go to this, Bedford Hockey Club. So they've got their official kit. They've used one of our partners, Under Armour, and they do their Under Armour kit. But they've also got their club subscriptions. Yeah. So they do all their club subscriptions through the platform. They also they do this 100, 500 club. So if people, it's basically you pay £1 a month, and so they pay £12 for the year, and they do a draw every month, and whoever the winner is gets half of the takings, if you see what I mean. So it's quite you can use it for anything really. And they did have some events on there, but obviously those have all been cancelled. But they had they were club socials. It was under club socials, but they've deleted those at the moment.
So can I ask you about the arty videos? Are they, so the artist films them themselves, and are they hosted on YouTube or on Vimeo?
So what for the videos that we do?
Yeah, so like Tim Fisher does his £35 workshop.
Yeah. So what happens with that? We take care of all that. So we have because we host it and we do that. So it's a little bit separate. That's more connected with the ShopKeep Arty side, really. So the money for the workshops and everything are collected on Tim's shop.
Yeah.
And so that he's got that, and then the actual videos are run by us because we host those. And if it's a live arty class, that's a bit different, and that's just a YouTube thing. If it's a workshop thing and a private event, that's something that we record, but then we enable and we look after the administration for Tim to give people access to those videos. So
how do you record those?
So we record that a bit like I'm recording now. On
Zoom or Camtasia or something?
Yeah, in a similar method.
So you can record this. So if I were to set up my workshop, you would record it while I was doing it. Is that how it would work?
We could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. I mean, that's a separate thing, because what you're talking about there is a product that's sort of your product. Do you know what I mean?
Well, so that's what I'm interested in, though. That's one of the key things for.
Okay. So that's something we could have a conversation about, and about then adding that as an item that you then sell on your workshop. But in a way, it is separate, because that's a sort of a product that is created in its own right.
Yes.
Our platform is more about collecting the money and facilitating the delivery of a product. If you
I can think of so many uses for it, not just for me, but for people that I know that run charities and rugby clubs, and
there's so many.
And whether I could take donations for my local charity, that people could donate. If I could donate part of what I take for my art, could go towards it. That sort of thing can all be done, can't it?
This is why I thought this video thing was a good idea, because I go through these conversations quite a lot, and I think I said to you yesterday, what will happen is at the end of the conversation you'll go, wow, that's amazing, there's so many things, but you won't be able to remember all the because there's so many things and there's so many different applications. And I thought, actually, if we put this as a video, then at least you can go back and remind yourself of the different thing. I'm sure you'll have 1,000,001 other questions, but the point is then we can kind of build upon that. But hopefully it gives you a really good insight as an artist about how you can use it to it's driving engagement, it's making it easy for your supporters to do everything that they need in one place.
I can't wait to get started, I have to say.
Brilliant. So thank you very much for your time. And if you've got any other questions, do email me. But hopefully it's been really helpful.
It has indeed. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.